holler if you have any questions.
Alright guys, so, you know, moving right along here in the instructional video, the next topic I really wanted to cover, you know, relatively lengthy, it's not going to be terrible, is buying and selling. How do I decide early game, you know, you're new to the game, it's always confusing, you go to a vendor, you have no idea what you're supposed to be doing here. There's all these options, you know, you don't know what's what, you don't know what's worth spending your money on. So, what I'm going to say, guys, is early game, don't worry too much about the particulars, other than what I told you guys about in the perk wheel. So what I like to prioritize early game is getting my character leveled. So once again, that's going back to the smithing, alchemy, enchanting, alchemy, enchanting, smithing, there's one more. Or maybe there's only 3. Smithing, yeah, okay, there's only 3. I'm tripping. So yeah, alchemy, smithing, and enchanting. If it has to do with those 3 things, that's what I'll prioritize either buying or spending my money on. So now, what am I talking about with that? I'll go ahead and show you. This is a general goods vendor. And, you know, they got a little bit of everything, but they typically don't have anything enchanted in the weapons, so don't spend your money here. Only look for that enchanted stuff. Again, prioritize alchemy, smithing, and enchanting. If you can buy something that has to do with those, grab it. Same thing with the apparel, guys. Now, the general vendors usually do have enchanted apparel, which is good. You know, always take a minute to go through here, see what's enchanted. And, you know, stamina, that has nothing to do with those 3 things I said. Deft hands has nothing to do with those 3 things I said. The reason I say don't spend your money on this stuff now is because while you're out looting and doing dungeons, you're going to get a lot of this stuff for free. So it just doesn't make sense to grab it now if, you know, you're going to be able to find it for free anyway. Not only that, you can put your gold into those 3 more important things that have to do with leveling, especially early game. Now, there's a trick to buying and selling. Always find a beggar and always give them a gold piece, and that'll give you the gift of charity. And I think it's for like, I don't know, 7 or an hour or something, whatever it is. You can get, I think it's 10% better buying and selling prices, so pretty good deal there. Also, if you have an amulet of Dibella, wear that sucker. That will stack with the gift of charity, and you'll get even better buying and selling prices. Alright guys, now there's one thing that I do see here that I am interested in, but not right now. Once again, it's not a priority, but I'm big on conjuration. So, you know, pretty soon in my game, if I don't get something like this for free, I'm going to want to buy one. But again, this is going to be after I'm well leveled and I've got more than enough gold to cover it, and I'm not worried about, you know, running myself down to 0. But again, you got to buy stuff like that to your playstyle. So I really like my conjuration and my archery. So if I see, you know, archery probably first and foremost, and then the conjuration would be later. But at some point I'm going to be crafting that set I told you about. A ring, a necklace, you know, boots, bracers, headgear, all that stuff stacks. So if I can get a good archery thing to disenchant, and I'm getting my enchanting built up good, and I've got some, you know, good strong soul gems, then I'll enchant all 4 pieces, wear them all, and then all 4 of those pieces stack with that archery damage bonus. That's how you really, really accelerate your archery damage. And you can do that with any of the weapons. I'm just saying, like, that's an example. So guys, again, you know, just telling you how I prioritize what to buy now, what to wait on. So right now I'm still kind of in that enchanting, smithing, and alchemy territory. But if I saw that archery thing, I might, you know, I might just go craft a bunch of dummy potions so I can buy it just to have it right now. And then when I am ready to craft all that apparel, then I'll disenchant that archery thing and put it all into the other items. The enchantments into the other items. Alright, so potions, I normally don't buy potions. Craft your own. The only exception is maybe you might want to buy 1 cure disease. Now, if you get some kind of disease, you know, whatever the case may be, lock joint or whatever, there's millions of them out there. But if you get sick with something and you're on the fly, you can pound that and you're good. And they're, you know, relatively inexpensive, 200 gold, it's not terrible. So, you know, but you really only need 1 in an emergency. Typically, you don't get diseases over and over again. Not only that, you really don't need to drink the potion anyway. You can always wait till you get to nearby town, village, or what do they call those? The shrines like the Shrine of Talos, for example, in Whiterun, near the waterfall, in the large staircase going up to the castle. Just talk to that or activate it, and it'll cure you of all diseases. Food, I typically don't buy food unless I'm really, really needing something and I'm just too lazy to go out and farm it. But again, kind of a waste of money, especially early game. Books, I'm really only interested in the spell tombs for right now. And again, I prioritize based on my playstyle. So if I really like something conjuring, I might buy a conjuring book. If I really wanted that soul trap spell to work on my soul gems, I put the money into the soul trap book. So just whatever it is, make sure it's a priority for you. Again, worst case scenario, you can save the game, buy the book, unlock the spell, go out and play with it. If you don't like it, go back to your prior save and get your gold back. Okay, Ray Zombie, again, I'm not big on the necromancy stuff, but that will, like, say you kill a weak, a bottom-of-the-barrel bandit. You can cast a spell on him, bring him back to life for 60 seconds. Some people dig it. I just prefer to cast the Flame Astronaut and call it good. The Misk. So guys, again, getting back to those three things. If it has to do with smithing, I buy it. Bam. Because I craft those into things to get my smithing skill up very quickly. Petty Soul Gem, buy it. Bam. That works on my enchanting skill. If I really knew I had a good amount of selling power right now, I'd buy pelts so I could craft those down. Again, smithing skill. That's awful doggone expensive. I'd only buy that if it was empty, then I'd go out and kill a giant, soul trap it, and then, fill it that way. Yeah, stuff like this is for home crafting or home building, but, that's kind of later game stuff, so for right now I'm going to forego these types of things. Normally when I get my house bought and I have storage, I will buy these things and start stocking up on them, but I'm not quite there yet with my character. I want to get them, get up a little bit stronger here before I start going, sending money off to home building just yet. Common Soul Gem, they're empty. I'm going to absolutely grab those. Again, enchanting. Amethyst. Now, normally I wouldn't buy these. I just go out and farm a bunch of ore, and they'll randomly give you those, while you're farming ore anyway. But, yeah, I'm not going to buy that. So, this stage in my game... now, the reason I buy these, again, smithing skill. You can craft jewelry as long as you got gold and silver ingots. Different gemstones go to different ingots, but... again, the gemstones can start getting real expensive real quick. So later game, I will buy all the gemstones because I'll have, 800,000 gold or something, and there's nothing else to spend it on anyway. So yeah, then if I want to work on my smithing skill, I'll go through and buy all the gemstones. They'll sell rubies, emeralds, just different gemstones at different times. Now, sometimes at these general goods stores, there's arrows. But again, you can craft your own. I wouldn't buy the arrows. Okay, now as far as selling, again, guys, this is something that gets back to your play style. If you hate the one-handed weapons, just get rid of all the one-handed stuff that you're carrying around. Now, if it's got, an enchantment on it, you might want to just wait and disenchant that, so that's how you unlock the enchantments that you can put on other things. So, what I would recommend doing is, if it's something you haven't disenchanted yet, go get it disenchanted. After that, feel free to sell the stuff you don't want. But, at least keep one thing on hand for disenchanting, and then that'll not only give you something to put on other things, but it'll also help you with your enchanting skill. Everything you disenchant bumps up your enchanting skill just a little bit more. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much weapons in a nutshell. Now, our speech skill isn't very high right now in my game, but at some point it will be. Now, notice, guys, the arrows don't carry any weight. All the arrows are 0 weight, 0 value. Now, when you get your speech skill up high enough, a lot of the arrows are going to start having value. So what I recommend is never, ever, ever sell arrows this early in the game. Wait until it gives you value. So now, actually, could get 42 for that. That's still not great. But, you know, at some point, these Ancient Nord arrows are going to be worth 1 or 2 gold each. And, you know, you're going to have hundreds of them by then. So, you know, bang, you sell all of those off. You're going to have, you know, probably 20 different types of arrows in this inventory, all with, you know, hundreds of arrows in them. So for right now, early in the game, I will hold off on those. Just keep that in mind for a later game when they start getting value. Apparel, guys, again, playstyle. Now, I like to keep a couple of things on hand for enchanting. Now, this is, you know, not great. 77, it's almost 100, whatever. If I really needed the gold, I would sell it. There's plenty of other, you know, cheap circlets you can get throughout the world. But again, you know, if I'm down to only 1 or 2, I might not sell them just in case I need to enchant one. And the reason I go for circlets particularly is you can do a hack where you can wear a circlet and a Falmer helmet on your head at the same time. It's the only combination that does that. But, you know, getting back to making that bow super sick, you can enchant a circlet, you can enchant a Falmer helmet, wear them both, and they both have that bow damage up on it. So, you know, it's pretty freaking awesome. So, that, again, that's why I like to hold back on the circlets. The armor guys, again, you know, just wear the best stuff you got, sell the rest. I always like to keep some jewelry behind, again, for enchanting purposes. So, you know, I like to keep at least, you know, 3, 4 at this stage in the game, because I'm really going to start getting busy with that here real soon. So, you know, being aware of that, I'm going to kind of hold back on selling this kind of stuff for the time being. But, you know, keep the cheaper stuff back. If you've got, say, an emerald, diamond, you know, whatever necklace, and it's worth, you know, 1,500 gold or some ridiculous high number, you know, sell that, and then enchant this other garbage. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, as far as, like, other apparel, this stuff is low-hanging fruit, guys. I think I've already unlocked, you know, Magicka regenerates faster, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm actually going to sell one of those and keep the other one to make sure I didn't already... Or make sure, you know, I don't need to disenchant it first. Furthermore, if you don't have good enough soul gems, like at least greater or grand, and your enchanting skill isn't up very high, don't sell or disenchant something like this just yet. We're getting more benefit holding onto it and wearing it than, say, enchanting another pair of boots with, say, a crappy, you know, lesser soul gem that only gives you, you know, 5 pounds of extra carry weight. You know, it just doesn't make sense to do that. So instead of selling these, I'm going to hold on to them until I get to that point where I can enchant good, and then I'll disenchant them so that I can, you know, free up that enchantment for the stuff I want to put on it. And again, those can stack, so you can put things like that on different items. I think that goes on the bracers, the necklace, the ring, and the shoe wear. So you can just really get your carry weight up that way, again, when the time comes. I know, guys, it's going to be long. If it's information overload, just, you know, take it all in. Don't worry too much about it. It'll kind of come back as you play your gameplay. And, you know, you can always rewatch the video later for a refresher. Alright, so, you know, that can apply also to archery or anything else that you find beneficial. If you do have something and you've already, you know, disenchanted it and you know you're never going to use it or wear it, just go ahead and sell that kind of stuff. Potions, you guys know me. I sell my potions constantly. Now, I keep, you know, healing. I keep, you know, stamina, magic, regeneration stuff. I might carry around some carry weight potions, you know, for when I get overweight and I'm out and about. But pretty much everything else gets sold. Now, if I really want, you know, I might craft a bunch of poisons to tip arrows with. You know, don't sell those if you really want them. You know, again, I'll keep a couple carry capacity potions behind. I might keep some resist fire, resist frost, resist magic, resist shock potions. Because sometimes you're in a real tough fight out there and somebody just keeps drilling you with, say, a shock attack. And that's what just keeps doing you in. You can pop one of those, and, you know, these aren't real good right now. The better you get your alchemy up, the stronger these get. You can get them way up over 100%. But, you know, that shaves a lot of that incoming damage off if you just really, really get stuck somewhere. So again, guys, do this stuff to your play style. You might want to keep some of these back, especially if you're early game. You know, experiment with them. Go out there, play with them. You know, if you get really stuck in a fist fight, remember what I said about that. Pop a potion, see if it helps you out. If it did, great. Then you'll have a better idea as you play as to what helps you out in combat and what does not. Let's see here. Yeah, the smithing stuff, I craft those. Now, these aren't great. You know, I could probably just sell those and get rid of them and craft even better ones here. But for right now, I'm going to keep them. You know, that's my dummy potion that I craft just to get my gold up. Now, you can sell potions to general vendors, but I would sell them at the alchemist first. And then whatever overflow you have, like when she runs out of gold, then you can come over to the general store and get rid of the rest. Scrolls, I like to hold on to scrolls specifically to sell to mages, because early game, before you get that perk unlocked for buying and selling elsewhere, or, you know, any item at any vendor, the mages are real tough to sell to get your gold back when you buy soul gems. I think I even mentioned that earlier on. So, you know, sometimes you can sell some scrolls, bump books. So if you get a book out and about, you know, and it's say valued at 70 or something, and you read it and it bumped up your archery, whatever, you know, it could be anything. If any book you read bumps up a skill, grab it, and then you can sell those at mages. You know, it's not great, but it's some gold you can get back from mages. Also, jewelry. We're going to go craft a whole bunch of jewelry here real soon at the smith to get our smithing skill up, and I'll keep that real expensive jewelry that I crafted specifically to sell at mages right now, to get some of my gold back when I buy soul gems. Alright guys, food, I keep a little bit of everything. Never run yourself down to 0. Now, there is an aspect in this game that I really haven't talked about, and that's like cooking food, you know, for perks. And I normally don't do it when I do my own gameplay, but, you know, earlier on in my experience with Skyrim, I did use some of them, and I did find them helpful from time to time. So that's something else that needs to get covered. So especially right now, I wouldn't sell a bunch of food stuff until you know what you do and don't want to cook. And again, getting back to that, you know, personal play style of yours, you'll figure that out in time, and then you'll kind of start knowing what you can and cannot sell. But long story short, if I start seeing like I got 50 or something, you know, and I'm never going to cook that many, because, you know, everything has weight. So, you know, well, you might be thinking, well, I can just cook them all. Well, yeah, you can, but the 50 of whatever you cook, then it's going to add weight. So, you know, if I start getting a big number of something, then yeah, I'll sell some of it off and get it down to a more respectable level. Ingredients, I never sell my ingredients unless I get an ingredient that I know I'm never going to cook that many of, and then I'll sell it off. Now, Purple Mountain Flower, that does combine with a couple things. They just don't cook real good, strong sellers, so I never need more than 10 or 15 or so, you know, maybe even 20 Blue Mountain Flowers. So yeah, 10 or so on things you know you're not going to craft a lot of. Don't worry about it. It's not a ton of weight. It's better to hold on for potions. Salt Pile combines with a lot of good selling stuff, so I keep all my Salt Pile. And again, guys, I know that weight adds up, you know. If that was 0.1, 30 of them would be 3 pounds. So that's 0.2, so it's actually 6 pounds that I'm carrying right now in Salt Pile. And again, that's okay, because these are going to get cooked real soon into potions that I'm going to sell off. Let's see here. Another good one to keep a big number of Luna Moth Wings, Juniper Berries. Although I'll probably store a lot of those, because those combine with garlic, and you just never seem to get as much garlic as you can Juniper Berries. So, you know, as I cook these down, and then I get more garlic, then I'll go back to my chest and pull out some more Juniper Berries as I need them. But yeah, don't sell those. Hanging Moss, never sell Hanging Moss, and never sell Blue Mountain Flowers. Guys, I'm about to go craft a whole bunch of good, strong, super good selling potions. So the Hanging Moss, what do I have? 69 of those. See, I'm going to basically craft 69 of that potion. I think it's Damage Magicka Regen. Holy guacamole, guys. I know it's a lot of weight, but, you know, once I get those potions crafted up, my alchemy is just going to go through the roof. And I'm going to do a lot of leveling in the process, and then I'll have a lot of selling power with those potions. So yeah, guys, you know, I can't think of them all right now. Just, you know, keep in mind, you might have to catch my alchemy video or something to see what I cook up and, you know, what's worth what. But just know that anything you see that I have big numbers of, you might not want to cook or sell. Alright, books, again, the bump books can be sold at mages, also spell tombs that you've already, you know, unlocked. Hold on to those as well. Those can get sold at mages also. Now, another thing that you can sell to, you know, the general store vendors is pretty much anything out of your misc. And guys, the dragon bones, yeah, you need these for later on in the game. Some of them get used in home building. They're needed for the dragon smithing, like the dragon bone armor and the dragon bone weapons. But again, that's a really, really later game thing. So early game, I prefer to get the money because it's good selling. Like, you know, 100 a piece. You can't beat that. That's 300 sitting right there. And then, you know, that's 200. So that's 600 sitting right there. I got almost 1,000 gold sitting right there in dragon bones. So early game, I would recommend selling these. But at some point, just keep in mind when you're not so worried about your gold anymore, you got plenty, then you might want to start storing those as you collect them, because when the time comes to do your dragon bone smithing, if you want to do it, it takes quite a lot of those, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so as far as selling, you know, again, if it has to do with leveling, I don't sell it. So any of the ingots, I keep them. Now, if it starts making too much weight, go download it in your home. But don't sell the ingots. Don't sell the ores. Keep everything. Soul gems. Don't sell them, guys. Keep them to get your enchanting skill up. Alright, guys, so that's pretty much buying and selling. Again, I know it's a lot of information, but you've got to prioritize based on what you want to do in the game. And the great thing about Skyrim is everything is randomized. So you might come here one day and everything's garbage. You might come here a couple of days later and you're like, whoa, I want this, I want that. The thing is, you know, the inventories keep resetting, so you got to be kind of quick. If you're low on cash, you got to get somewhere, get some potions crafted so you can get them sold to get the money you need within a day, you know, to make sure that that inventory doesn't clear. But again, everything's random and everything resets, so, you know, if you miss out on it, no big deal. Great thing about the game is you're always going to find it again down the road. Alright folks, so again, I know it was a lot, but I hope it helps you guys out. Feel free to watch it more than once if you need to, or watch it in intervals as you're doing things in your game, and I really hope it helps you all out. In the meantime, if you're still kind of stuck on something, you know, feel free to leave a comment. If I'm not, you know, Johnny on the spot getting to that, you know, sometimes another viewer will go through the comments and answer questions that they know. So, you know, please don't be shy. Please feel free to ask the questions. Alright folks, hope that helps you all out. Best of luck and happy hunting.